Hi.
Yo, what
Can
up?
you hear me?
I can hear both you guys.
Wicked. How you
Nice.
doing?
I'm doing
Yes, good.
good. Doing good, man. How you guys doing?
Awesome.
Right, we are very excited.
Long time.
Dude, let's fucking do this. So normally what I do with people when I coach them is I have them tell me like their leagues and the race they play and general play style. But I guess you guys can just kind of tell me like your 2v2 races you like to play and the ranks you guys are.
Exactly. Yeah, we're Double Terran, and we basically only do 2v2. We focus on the B2GM style, although we did some adjustments because we figured it was just too clunky if we both go Thor Hellbat.
Yeah.
So we mixed it a little bit up, and the path started going into early bio and later on into BC, which worked out pretty well, I guess. But we're actually still struggling with scouting, especially also mid to late game, because oftentimes we don't really know what's going on.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah, and also things like decision making. Are we reading the game? Are we ahead? Are we behind? And when do we go out? What to do if we can establish more than 4 bases? Stuff like that.
Yeah. So I would say 2v2 is definitely it's all about like it's not actually exactly like 1v1. I think 1v1 definitely has like aspects that apply to 2v2, like is your build efficient? Do you have efficient ways of doing things? How are you microing your units? Stuff like that. But
Hmm.
2v2 is really heavy on being precise with timing. And there are a lot more builds that you should probably be doing in 2v2 that involve things like worker cutting and not just constantly fucking slamming out workers until you're on like 80 of them.
That's what
Okay.
we are doing basically.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yes. I mean, we started off from the B2GM and focus on a very macro heavy style, but we figured 2v2 is a lot more aggressive
yeah. Exactly.
than 1v1 in places.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we got
Um,
rushed a lot in the start,
yeah.
and then we started vetoing maps that were like, yeah, where we got rushed all the time. But yeah,
Yeah.
let's see.
I would say 2v2. There's the map thing is definitely huge in 2v2 in terms of balance. Like when you have maps that you have isolated bases, you're not together. Those maps are awful if you don't want to do an all-in style build. So if you leave those maps unvetoed, I would definitely say if you want the highest win rate possible, you guys could probably
Hmm.
like synergize a build that's based off of aggression together, where you can both just fucking like focus to kill one opponent together. Uh, and that way, if one of you gets all in as well, if you're both setting up to do your own versions of aggression, that you could actually help each other too. It's like also a good defensive measure to defend all ins. And then if you play maps that are like joint bases, you guys could
Hmm.
definitely synergize builds too, where you both, I would say, the best kind of build to do in a 2v2 would be a timing attack build that also can macro. So if you think about Terran, one build if you play Bio that comes to mind would be like you guys know what a 2-1-1 is or no?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, 2-1-1 build for Bio would be fucking perfect for 2v2 because it allows you to macro, but at the same time it also gives you this sick timing to hit early where you could defend aggression with it, or you could be aggressive and like do tons of damage to your opponent if they're either being too greedy or whatever. Another build that would be good for like mech could be something like one of you could go like Hellion Cyclone if you want to play like just average consistent aggression. Another player could go for like a tank timing or something like that, and like go into like Thor's after or those kinds of builds. But there has to be some type of a timing. I would say like that way you have units ready for an all in to defend yourself, or you're ready to attack somebody together.
Yeah. I mean, so far we did pretty well, I guess, with laying back and building up an army and so on, but only as far as we didn't get rushed or constantly pressured.
Yeah.
So we're looking into a little bit more harassment here and there, definitely. Um, and I mean, like our goal a couple of weeks ago was, or a couple of months ago, was to get into diamond at least once, which we managed 2 weeks ago, which is awesome. Um,
Nice.
so we just want to see how far this can carry us. Maybe just one more piece of information: we usually play once a week, so one evening per week. So I guess we are not looking into too many changes or too many things that would require a lot of training, but rather adjustments
Oh
here and there.
yeah.
Okay.
Um, to make us get better, see how far this can carry us.
Well, I would say to answer that then, if you guys have limited time, there are 2 ways, in my opinion, we could go about this that would probably give you the most efficient results over time. And one would be, I like you guys could I could talk to each one of you and ask you what kind of a build sounds good to you, and then I could show you a efficient version of what I think you should do in 2v2 on average, and then you could master that could be your build. That is literally just now your build. You do it every time, and it doesn't matter what races you're against or anything like that. It's more or less just like maybe you both have like 1 or 2 builds that you can use. Like it's like I have my macro version or I have my aggressive version, but they both have timing attacks involved with them. We could do it that way. That could help you make sure you guys are doing like things as efficiently as possible. Or we could do what exactly what you said as well, where I just kind of like tweak like a minor thing where I'm like, well, you should have built this first instead of that, but overall you have the right idea, stuff like that.
So I actually think we. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no,
You
you go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I actually think we already kind of tried to figure out builds that we can just always do against or in any matchup more or less. And we also prepared a replay. We
Sure.
wanted to show you.
Are you guys in
So,
Europe, by the way? Just for the sorry, really quick.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Should we?
I know I'm hopping
You
over there.
switch to Europe,
I'll go to Europe. It's all good.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks. So yeah, I think we actually tried to find a build or find builds that go together well and that we are able to do, because as we said, we have kind of a skill cap. So I think it probably doesn't work if we try to, I don't know, do a lot of multi-pronged attacks and multitasking with bio and drops and so on. So
We do have a drop going on though.
yeah. So I'm always trying to do 1 marine drop, just as kind of an opening, but not much more, because as you often say in your other content, I struggle with bio in the late game, because if there's AoE on the field, it's just dying too fast, and I'm just not good enough mechanically.
For sure.
And I don't think that I really have the time to learn this.
Okay.
Right. So
Now, here's the thing.
yeah,
All right, keep going. Sorry.
yeah, I just wanted to say that I think it's probably good if we just maybe have a look at this replay, and then you can maybe say a bit more about what you would adjust.
Sure. I'm in. If you guys can join channel Vibe, I got an EU, and that's like probably the easiest way you guys could find me.
Join channel wipe.
Yeah. Just like all you gotta do is if you're on, just type this right here, and then I just typed it in Discord. And then
in game now. Okay. So
yeah. And then because I mean I also could give you guys my details, but if you guys join Vibe, it'll probably be the fastest way. I'll just give you my details too. Why not? Just in case. You guys.
I actually don't know how to join the channel, to be honest.
It's in Discord. If you type just on BattleNet, if you just like in the chat bar on the bottom right, if you just type /join space Vibe, it'll put you in the channel.
Okay.
And then if you still somehow don't see me, you guys can just add me as well. That'd be totally fine. Because I also gave you my in Discord, I gave you my battle tag on BattleNet.
So actually, it's not really working for me. To
I know.
be honest.
This is the no, it's okay. This is the problem with BattleNet. It's unreliable as fuck with the chat system. So I'm not surprised. You guys can just add me as well.
I know. I see. Okay. Yeah.
And then I'll just add all these people. That is who's who.
Okay.
So is one of you Roland? Or that might be somebody else. I had like 7 pending invites.
I just sent an invite.
Okay, I got you.
Pal lets me, yeah.
Yep. I just sent you a request to join the party.
Wicked. Okay.
Nice, and then there you go. You guys can set up the replay. We can watch it up. And just to throw it out there, a generalized build, okay? Generalization here. If you guys want to go double bio, that's okay. If one of you guys wants to go mech and bio, that's okay. But with what you were saying about how you went, oh well, Marines kind of suck in the late game because of AoE. I totally agree with you. What you could do is if let's just say one of you does go mech and one of you goes bio, the bio player should be the one who goes BCs later. Like the bio player should
Yeah,
be
yeah.
the harasser and the
That's
That's
what
GC.
actually what we try.
Okay,
That's our
already.
build.
that's good.
So actually, we did prepare 2 replays. One is a really rather long macro game, where we managed to roll out our strategy, but and I think we're pretty far ahead at one point, but somehow we crumbled under the pressure, didn't manage to establish more than 4 bases, and yeah, I don't know, just simply didn't manage to run away with the lead. So this would be the most important. And then we prepared another game where we got rushed really early. So if we have time left in the end, maybe we should, we could take a quick look
Yeah,
and
let's do it.
go through the scouting
Let's do it.
just for the scouting stuff. Okay.
Sounds good.
So I put watch replay with others, right? Yeah.
And then before you start it, toss me lobby host just by right-clicking my name and doing lobby host.
Okay.
Or okay, that was a group. There you go.
I promoted you party leader.
Yeah. Right, perfect.
Okay,
There
you
go.
got it here.
And now I'll kind of bounce around and see what you guys are doing.
Mhm.
Also, you guys are tagged up. That's fucking perfect, man. Yeah,
Awesome.
you look deadly together.
Yeah, it's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yeah. All right.
Except APM, of course.
Yeah, right.
Yes. So there's no possibility for us to follow your cam, right?
No, I'll definitely make you guys know what I'm talking about though. Like I'll describe what I'm looking at before I really go into it. But yeah, there's no way. And when you can only watch someone's camera if it's actually a live game.
Okay.
Okay, so I mean, this is gonna be a perfect map. Like just in general, if the way I would describe that you guys should kind of play this out is definitely kind of how you are. It's you guys are joint walling off the doorway, which is huge. You know, it kind of needs to happen, especially if you guys are Double Terran. And this would be the kind of map that would be greater for the more macro-focused timing attack type stuff. Like still getting an army, but going more macro-heavy. That would be perfect. Yeah, because these kinds of maps will definitely favor you the most. And I like that at least one of you is scouting. This is very, 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 very important in 2v2.
Yeah, I try to always
It
scout
won us a
after
lot
the
of
barracks.
games.
Yeah, like I would say scouting's
Yeah.
important always just in general in 1v1, but in 2v2 it's even more important because if you both get all in and you don't do anything defensive, you'll just die.
So basically, what do we look for with the scouting?
So-
our goal is always to check for expansions
exactly.
and then just to see whether the opponent goes 2 racks or
Yeah.
double gateway or some
Yep.
stuff, which looks aggressive, but other than that, it's pretty thin, to be honest.
That's well.
Yeah.
That's honestly, you don't have to be super intricate with what you look at in scouting. It should be: did they expand, or are they going to set up for like a, there's like 3 ways to look at it. One is did they expand? That's the biggest one. That is the most obvious. If they have expanded, you're good. Like now you don't have to really worry as much because you know that your opponents are going to go more towards at least a 2-base macro style, which means you're not going to be getting killed right away by a bunch of production. The second way to look at it is look at the production at their base and how much do they have. If you haven't seen an expansion yet, now you want to know, are they going to go for like 3 gateways, 2 gateways, 2 racks, 3 racks, whatever, or are they going to go for like gases really fast and off of like the one initial tech path structure in the beginning? Because some people will rush air, some people will rush tech. They don't have to just go for mass units if they don't expand. So the second one is looking at how much production they have. And then the last one, if you haven't seen either one of these yet, if you have not seen the Nexus or the expansion, if you haven't seen the production yet and you don't see anything, then you should at the very least guaranteed check their gas, and then you do a lap around their base, and if you see no production and you see no gas, you can kind of assume, well, okay, if we get a depot wall off here, and maybe like we build just a bunker just in case, no matter what races they are, Terran, Protoss, or Zerg, you'll be really good. If one of you just builds a bunker, and so if production is missing no matter what, whether it's gas or not, always one of you build a bunker. Whoever's going to make Marines more often, build the bunker. And then that way, if you get all in by proxy, you'll have way better chances of living. Now, if there is a gas and there is, if either player has gas and there is no production at their base, it looks like it's proxy gas related things. One of you should build a bunker, and the other player that's not going bio and building a bunker, you should build a tank. Honestly, so you should combine now with gas proxy, tank bunker, and you're just gonna be like, wow, every all in is like a joke. Like it's because it might also not be ground only, but I guarantee if it is anything on the ground, you're going to just fucking destroy it if you go bunker tank.
Actually, I try to. So I'm going mech, and usually try to go tech lab first and tank by default.
Okay.
Except when we scout an early pool versus Zerg. That's the only situation where I would go reactor first. Would you say that's suitable, or?
Yeah, if you're like, so you both should be doing a job. I think for Double Terran, honestly, it's kind of, I feel like if you guys both go mech, they would just be a situation of you guys both feeling like, wow, we're just getting attacked constantly and we're always on defense and we're dying slowly. It's really hard to make that work for both of you. But if one of you goes bio, one of you goes mech, and like it sounds like you guys are already doing, that's perfect. The bio player should definitely be the bunker boy all the time for the bunker situations for aggression, and the mech player should always be the tank boy. And yeah, that works perfect. You don't have to do that necessarily though, versus macro players. So if you scout, oh, they expanded like this, like the fact that even just one of them has expanded, you don't even have to go tank anymore. But the only time you should go tank is if you want to go for a tank timing. So if you guys want to join together and be like, okay, well, I'm going to have Marine Medevac, you're going to have tank Hellion or something like that, and I'm going to assist your tanks to do a tank siege timing, then that works because you guys are doing a tank timing. But if you are going to go purely defensive and that's it, and then you're just going to macro, it doesn't make sense to make a tank right away and rush the tank out if what's it called? If they're both macroing, you could do other things too. Like I would say if you're both going to defensively macro, it might make more sense instead for you to just do something like maybe make a cyclone first and then make a tank. And you don't have to necessarily be aggressive. It just makes it easier for you to not make sure you don't take damage from something now, like an Oracle or a Banshee or something like that. Because if you just go pure tanks right away defensively and your opponents are also macroing, you got to realize that macro also synergizes really well with tech because you're a lot more rich in general and you're not cranking out units like crazy. You can just build buildings instead. And if you get hit by like a Banshee or an Oracle or whatever, air units, and you only have tanks, like it really puts a lot of stress on the bio player with Marines to be defending everywhere, like bouncing back and forth. And that's when people can pick you apart. If you can't, because you have to, but in 2v2s, you guys both have to kind of be able to guard yourself while simultaneously guarding each other. So having something like, for instance, a Cyclone makes it to where like now if they rush Oracle or whatever, you're fine. So
and we try to get out early turrets for that.
Well,
but it makes sense definitely.
Yeah, well, I'll see how fast you build stuff, but so far your guys' builds, I have no problem with them so far. It does look like you're doing a 2-on-1 as well, which is awesome, and the other one is doing a double factory. And if I would say this, for these builds, in my opinion, to be perfect, okay? If this second barracks for the blue player, for Paul, goes into a tech lab for Stimpack, and then the factory makes a reactor while you make a starport, and it is legit a 2-on-1, and then you swap the starport onto the reactor from the factory, and now you have Marine Medevac opening. That'd be perfect. Now for Red Reptile, if you go for a tech lab on the first factory, and if you were to, because this is defensive macro, I would say if you made a Cyclone first and then started making tanks, you could still do a tank timing with this. It's just you have the Cyclone to guard yourself just in case. If you go Cyclone, then tank, and then the second factory that's being started right now with the barracks that's being floated over, if that barrack starts a reactor, you swap it over and you make Hellions with it. This would be a perfect attack to go with. Because the reason why is you guys could both do a timing here together, and you could choose to either have the bio player drop while you do a front load attack with the tanks in front, or you could just assist each other and go together like a full-fledged Terran army. But if you both, what you can do here behind this, off of double factory, double racks production, you could both take a third command center. And then
This early?
No, like what I'm talking about is like once you set up the timing, like we're talking like at 4:30, you could both take a third CC. And then you both could go off of like 3 base. Like increase production at that point. It's because that's kind of what you want to go. You want to do builds. Team games are just basically based around builds that are all about timing attacks, not about all-ins. Unless you want to go all in really early off of like the 1 base, then you can obviously. But it's not really about all-ins. It's about doing focused timings and then following it up with future aspects of the game, like for instance a third command center, a fourth command center, or whatever. So it's not over investing. It's understanding builds that you can do that for you. And 2-on-1 and a double factory would be perfect for that. But if you start making like if you go up to like 5 factories on 2 bases, and the bio player goes up to like 5 racks on 2 bases, well, now you guys are all in, and you better kill them. And it puts a lot of strain on both of you at that point, if you play that way. I like your guys' little joint wall. You guys are awesome. With the double NG base.
Yeah, that one we figured out after losing a lot on this map, because they were always like attacking the second base of the red player in this case.
Yeah.
One thing, what we problem we often have is that one of us has very little anti-air in the beginning. So I think this time I scouted with the Reaper the Stargate, if I remember correctly. So we now start turrets. But so you mentioned the Cyclone. So would you like recommend just really opening up Cyclone for the mech player?
Yeah. Yep. That's
Always,
yeah.
more or less,
Well,
or-
it's not always. It's if they do expand, you should go Cyclone.
Okay.
If they don't expand, and like they're so for instance, if they have like 3 racks and like 3 gates, or if they have no tech at all, or like no production at all in front of their base, and you know it's proxy, it's most likely not going to be like a really fast proxy Stargate if they're both missing, because it's now like it would just be like, well, if the Terran player is going to go mass proxy racks and the Protoss player is going to go like proxy gateway core then Stargate, that's not really realistic. Usually what'll happen is if the Protoss player is going to proxy something, they'll do it just the Stargate's going to be proxied, or if they both macro, then there's a good chance they'll go into Stargate Tech just to go into Stargate Tech. And then yeah, like I was saying before, if you don't have the mech player, build a Cyclone first. There's going to be so much strain on the bio player to defend everywhere. So because you do
sometimes I'm sorry.
Oh,
Go ahead.
it's okay.
No, I sometimes try to rush out a Thor, but it takes way too long
Exactly.
for the early oracles.
Yep, and it's also slow as fuck. Thors are good if you can like actually have everything covered anyways, and now Thors just add to it. And then once you have so many of them, they're everywhere and they just beat the shit out of everything. But yeah, having like the one Thor, even then only getting one Thor out, if he goes, if they go between your main and your natural, having to go up and down that ramp, and you're like, oh god, okay, here we go again. Like it would just, you would still take damage probably. So I like the fact that you guys do build turrets. That's totally fine as well, because you're not going crazy on turrets either. You're making 1 per mineral line. But I would say this is a bit early. Just because like this is super fast, and I would say if you wanted to make turrets, the perfect time to do it instead would be around like you start making turrets right around the same time you should be starting to make a 3rd command center, which should also be the time when you're getting ready to move out to attack, which is roughly around 4 minutes 30 to 5 minutes. Because think about it like this. If there was an oracle, yes, there could be an oracle at like 4 minutes attacking your base if they rushed it as fast as possible. And let's just assume that happened and he didn't go for a Nexus first or anything like that. If you had a Cyclone, you would destroy that thing. Like it would not even be scary. The same thing if the Terran would have gone for a fast Banshee. There could be a Banshee at your base by probably like 420, somewhere in there. But for there to be something threatening to the degree that you would need a turret, that doesn't happen until 5 minutes beyond, like 5 plus, because there cannot be cloak that fast. And cloak would actually be the only benefit I would say here that you would need, because it would be detection. The turret has detection, and the Cyclone obviously doesn't. So then that would be when a turret would make sense. And if you made your turrets like between 4:30 to 5 minutes, it would be so much less strain on your economy to do this, because these things are expensive as hell right now, because not only does it keep 2 SCVs building right now and occupied so they're not mining, but it also costs 200 minerals per each of you. So it is a pretty big deal to make it right now.
Yeah, we also figured that it delays the drop a lot, actually.
Yeah. And also, I would say one more thing about your build right now that I would really like you guys to do is I like the fact that you're doing double depot, double NG bay wall off. That it could be just pure depots as well. That'd be fine. But you guys are building it, I think, a bit too far forward for 2 reasons. One is the fact that your right side of your base is still exposed to a run by if they just go completely around you, which is it's a huge gap in your wall on the right ramp. And the other reason why is because you're building it so far away from your command centers that, again, it puts this strain on you where you're going to have to run really far to defend your wall and then really far back to defend a drop or an air unit. So that
we did actually. Did you see my ping actually?
Do it now. I can see it if you do it now.
We did place the wall here earlier on this map.
Sure.
But then we struggled a lot with establishing the 3rd base for one player, because the 3rd base would actually be here.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times we were facing tank pushes against the wall and we couldn't break out this early. And then we couldn't get the macro going. So then we started to wall off the front, like so far ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And then we actually managed to at least get on 3 bases for both players.
It's interesting. I'll say that only because if they go around the bottom path on the right side,
Mhm.
there is no wall, and they could just run into your base.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I understand.
that's what happened to us a couple
Yeah,
of times.
yeah.
Indeed.
So
Yeah, just saying, unfortunately, it's a 30-minute or more than 30-minute game, so
yeah.
a bit of breaks. There's a lot to come, so maybe
It's
we
all
have
good.
to.
I think honestly,
Yeah.
this is the thing about coaching though. This is something that a lot of people get the way you're feeling right now, where they're like, "Holy fuck, we're spending so much in the first few minutes that I don't know if we can make it all the way through." The beginning of the game sets up the whole game, and if you don't focus on the start of the game, like think about it like this: if you have a weak early game, the whole game's going to be hard. But if you have a strong early game, the whole game's going to feel easy. So everything is like irrelevant. Like every minute that goes by, every next minute is less relevant than the previous one. Like this start of the game is fucking huge. And if you guys have a weak early game, it's gonna make every game feel like shit. And right now, I would say, I like your build. I don't like the defensive tank first, though. Again, I the Oracle or the Cyclone would be better, and so that would be my opinion on that. And then the bio player,
You proposed only one Cyclone, right?
just
And
just
then
one, just one.
Afterwards,
Yep.
go into
It just
the
gets
tank Thor or whatever.
yeah. It just alleviates pressure off of the bio player have to defend everything. And then now the blue player here, you're missing a huge window. And this is also because I think you're doing things like building turrets so fast. You're missing a huge window on your reactor on your factory. Like that's been done for a while.
Yeah. I somehow forgot to switch. No, no. How I do it.
Yeah. I would say the medevacs are a little delayed, just in general. So it's gonna. This is important, and the reason why is because your guys' timing should be based. Also, the red player here too. Like both of you are kind of missing production a lot. You guys need to hit a timing if you're gonna do something like this. If you want to play defensive, there's two ways to go about this. If you want to do a timing, which I think is stronger for 2v2, you need to maximize production. You really have to, because if one of you is like, well, I just missed production for the last 48 seconds, it's gonna suck pretty hard. Your timing is gonna be very weak. But if you both want to go for, like just pure defense until you get higher supply, you both should be starting a third command center pretty fast. Like if you're gonna tech up and get let's say 2 medevacs and then stop, you should definitely probably make a third command center, which is the reason why you're stopping after 2 medevacs and then eventually going into more stuff like that. Okay. So this kind of a drop right here. Again, this is like the early game, right? And this is pretty massive about what just happened to you here. The best thing you could do if you're like, oh shit, what are mines, would have been just send one Marine by one Marine by one Marine, set them off. Let the Marines literally absorb the hit and then either die or, you move on. The crazy thing too is one Marine actually won't die to a Widow Mine. It'll live with 5 hit points. But you just want to get rid of these things really fast because the amount of time that's also been wasted on the gas with your SCVs just chilling there. It's way more impactful than losing a couple Marines. Okay, you are doing it now, which is good. This is exactly what you should be doing.
It was a bit rough because he came in with 2 oracles and then at the
exactly.
same time the drop happened, and yeah, it's just hard for me to multitask.
And imagine if there was a Cyclone though, and the Cyclone actually caught and just destroyed one of the oracles. Suddenly, that's like a lot less pressure already right there. And then imagine if the Cyclone was also helping defend those Widow Mines. You guys could actually have had if let's just say if this turret was there, and you had detection vision of it, you could have actually had the Cyclone kill those Widow Mines out of range of the Widow Mines too. Like the Cyclone's gonna just increase so much more defensive capabilities for you guys.
Yeah, definitely try to incorporate that.
All right, so now you're doing a drop. And now here's where this would make sense, okay? 2v2 is very, very, very based off of how you guys synergize together. If you're going to do a Cyclone drop, but the mech player is not going to assist, it would make the most sense that the mech player and the bio player now, you guys should definitely now be prioritizing your third bases. So we can see, you're producing your units, you're producing another Thor, you're going for upgrades. I would say actually like the second armory should not be there right now, and you should actually be going for a third CC instead. And like it's because again you're not going this build. It's already kind of going down the path of it does not seem like you're going for a timing. It seems like you guys are just trying to max out. So you should if you're
that's what we did.
and if you're trying to max out, you should prioritize your economy always first. And you should be, you know, getting those, like, you should almost feel like you're cranking out CCs, like, pretty fast. And we can see you guys are both now going for a third base. So you have, again, the idea is right. I think it's just maybe a bit late. Because you guys are throwing down these third CCs at, like, 6:30-ish. Like, 6:40. When they should be going down at, like, 4:45, 4:30, something around there. It's just a bit late.
But how do you read when it's safe to go for the CC?
When they expand. That's it. It's based off it's all based off the opener, so that's why I said the first SCV scout is so important, because if it's going to be no expansions for them and just high production, you would actually not go for these third CCs. You would go for like constant unit production out of your 2 factory, two barracks, and then it would be like I'm going tank. I got cyclone and tanks. I got mass marines and medevacs, and you guys could synergize really well together and crush an all in, because you guys are like. The thing is you can make SCVs and you can make units out of that production the whole time, and you're good to go. But if you stall out production at all here and there, you should be able to add in something else. And what you're adding in is actually armories. And I understand you have to make 1 to unlock Thors, and then so on and so on. But it should be, instead of unlocking like upgrades really fast, you should actually be just before going upgrades and going into a third CC. And then same with the bio player. Instead of going for like really quick tech to like a fusion core and, you know, stuff like that, if it was an all-in, you would instead just want to keep cranking out marines and medevacs and stuff and going from there. And then if you really needed to, maybe even make like a couple Vikings if it seemed appropriate, like if your opponent was going for, you know, liberators or some shit.
So could we have known here, because of the opening, like the double oracle and the Widowmine drop, that there was not going to be like a 2-base push, and so it was safe to expand after having deflected this.
Yeah,
one.
that is the other reason too. Yeah. So the first one is the fact that they expanded, and the second one is because they harassed you and also lost the units they harassed with, or really at least the Terran player did. One of the oracles was still lived away, or like got away. But yeah, whenever someone expands, you should expect that they still can harass you. That's like their timing. So when I was telling you guys about how you guys could do a timing together, that was their version of that. Like one guy Widowmine drops, the other guy Oracle harasses. And it's not about killing you there, it's about setting you behind there, which is exactly what your guys' timing would be if you guys did one together too. If you did like 3 tanks and like 6 Hellions paired with 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. That should not be designed to kill either. It's just designed to be annoying and slow them down. And then behind it, you would be going with more, you know, of what you want. And I will say this: if you guys are not going to all in, which it does not seem like you are going down that path at all, I'm really glad that you are going for 3cc before both of you did it, before you added on more production. That's very, very important. But I will also say that I think the bio player is actually transitioning into BCs a little too fast. So my recommendation to alter your build, like mech player is easy because it's just, I make more factories and I make more mech units, cool. But the bio player, exactly. I really think the bio player should do this, okay? This should be your build as the bio boy. 2-1-1. I'm really glad you're opening that way, by the way. That's fucking huge. That's such a good 2v2 build. But then after 2-1-1 and you take a third base, after your third command center, I want you to actually be upgrading your bio more than you are. I want you to actually go for upgrades literally all the way to 3-3. And I want you to go for 3 more racks after your third CC, which will take you all the way from 2-1-1 to 5-1-1. So you have 5 barracks after your third CC. And then you just make all reactors except for the 1 tech lab. And then you just make Marines. And you literally will go all the way to maxing out once. You just max out one time. Just once. And then after you max out, and when you do this, you'll have way more bio to like actually support mech with if you guys get attacked. Otherwise, you can drop a lot more if you want to. Because what the bio player should be doing right now is the very first drop you do, you should be looking for damage in the main base if you're gonna drop the main, or you should be supporting your teammate with the push together. But the mech player, your guys' jobs rotate once you get past the first push. Mech player's job now becomes this: how do I guard the base as well as possible so we can both max out? You are the ultimate defense, basically, as the mech guy. The bio guy should be the guy that goes like this: I'm going to send a Marine there, and it runs around the map that way, I'm going to send a Marine there, and it runs around the map that way. As soon as you find bases, you become expansion killer. You literally kill expansions. Because look at the bases on the left side of the map right now. They're so fucking exposed, and everybody plays like this. Bio players should be dropping like two Marine medevac drops or three medevac drops of Marines at a time, like little mini doom drops that are just like knocking out base after base after base, and you don't have to fully commit like one after another like right away, but you should be killing them like once every 30 seconds or so. Like you should just be looking for expansions, because if you starve them out and you slow them down, it makes both of your lives easier. But if you both sit there defensively like with a big blob, it's just not really going to synergize well, and it's going to kind of fall apart. And then once you max out the first time, you can then rotate your composition into like, now you can lift off the starport and lift off the barracks, and you can even put the barracks now on the reactor that was on the starport before, because now you're not going to make medevacs anymore, but you still have the access to make Marines if you need to, just to support. If you're like, well, I have no gas, but I have like 2,000 minerals, and they're being really aggressive, I can make more Marines just to support, just to like be a fodder frontline for the tanks or something like that. That'd be fine. But then it's just, you would add on like maybe 3 starports then as well, so you go up to like 4 starport in total, and you start going into BCs with upgrades now on armories, and that'd be fine. So that could be like your supreme in-game death ball of eventually going to BC mech, with Thors and shit, for the other guy. But yeah, I would say there's a big missed opportunity right now for bio drops to be killing expansions now, because it's really easy to do it too.
So one question, I scouted with my first drop that there were a lot of Vikings already out, so I got really afraid with doing more drops. Or I usually don't do it because also it's multitasking, and I tend to mess up my macro then. So
Sure.
I want to focus on macro first. But if I see that there's so much like Vikings or I don't know, Phoenix or something out, should I still try
You
to
should.
drop them?
Yep.
As you just said, or?
In 2v2, like I understand the multitasking thing, it makes 2v2 a lot harder, but 2v2 is not the same as 1v1. And if you allow your opponents to go uncontested, it's gonna make your life feel pretty shitty. Because think about it like this, okay? I'm gonna just explain this concept really fast. If you guys both had the idea of, all right, we need to just not die. We need to not die to an early all-in. And then we need to, like just defensively macro beat a GM style all the way to max, and then see what we can do together when we have 400 supply as a combo. What you should do then is you should just scout your opponent's bases and see if they expanded, and if they did, you would literally make like, we're talking like 20 supply of units, and then you would both take like 4 command centers at once. And I'm not saying to do that, I'm just saying that's the concept. Conceptually, that would make more sense, because if you're not going to do anything aggressive, and you're going to sit there and turtle, you'd be better off just expanding a shitload. Because a lot of players will literally just go for the fucking one attack and then stop, and then, do the thing where it's like, okay, now I'm going to make my death ball, which is fine. But if you can throttle your opponent at all, just like literally go a 3 base build and throttle your opponent, it comes down to a situation where now suddenly everything is way better for you, because it would be so, even if they have Vikings and shit like that, there is so much surface area on their base right now that it would be so easy just to like land and then snipe a base, and you don't have to like continuously micro it the whole time. You can just load up and like boost to the corner up here or something, just like leave, boost away, and then just come back to it again like 30 seconds later. Like do a macro cycle, macro, spend your money, and be like, okay, well I just spent my money, everything's spent. Now I'm gonna go check the next base. Land, stem it down, kill it, boost up, or like load it, kill it, load up, boost away, go to the corner again, macro. Because right now, the thing is bio doesn't mean shit. If you have a bunch of Marines and then you're like, well, I maxed out with Marines, and your teammate maxes out with Hellion tank and stuff like that, the bio player is like, it's like a wet noodle mixed with like a big fucking sword or something. You know what I mean? Like the bio's like, cool, I got bio. Like it doesn't fucking matter. So the bio player, even if you max a little slower than the mech player, I would say that's totally fine, as long as you can support your mech teammate at this point now to slow down your opponents, while the mech player can be like, okay, the second the mech player maxes, you just go. You'd be like, all right, let's go together. Mech player is 200 supply, bio player could be like 170 or 160, and that'd be fine. I'd be like, yeah, you should just go, because mech player is the power here. And mech player can't really do much about these expansions unless you did something like, let's say, have 4 Hellions or 6 Hellions run by and like try to kill workers, but still that's not as effective because you can't actually kill the base, but bio can.
But would you say it's worth stimming down the base even at the cost of the drop?
No, honestly. Like the thing is your drop doesn't even have to die. Like bio will kill the bases so fucking fast, and I think you guys are overestimating how agile the Vikings are. Like they can't always be everywhere. So if these guys have like 7 bases together, and the Vikings are currently like 12 seconds away from the furthest out expansion that you're gonna kill, you could probably kill that base and get out before the Vikings get there. But even if the base dies and the bio dies, I'd be like, yeah, I don't give a shit. That's fine. That's actually good for you because bio is not what you want to max on. Like you will max the first time just as a result of how it goes, but it's if your bio dies but you kill economy in doing it, bio is so easy to replace and it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. Like if you have 5 racks, you'll be able to replace it like repeatedly all day. Like it should be traded out is what it is.
Yeah.
Just one question before we
Sure.
get into this fight. Do you have any suggestions as to how to scout in this mid-game situation? Because honestly, at this point in the game, we had no clue how many bases I think the opponents had.
Exactly. Where the
And
bio
we
guy's
were
supposed to
kind
go.
of stuck on our 3 bases, and oftentimes we also struggle, to get onto the map.
That's
And as you mentioned, we hide behind the wall a little bit, and then the opponent gets uncontested. So just to get a better game sense as to when is it safe to move out, or at least to put the army a little bit further on the map and to see how far the opponents are.
That's what the bio guy does for you. So the bio guy is much less right now about power and much more about control. The mech player is much less about control and much more about power. So if the bio player is dropping, he indirectly scouts army comp and also base count, and also makes your life as the mech player easy as fuck to be greedy. So mech player can max way easier because now suddenly you have all this pressure lifted off of you because you can expand and you can do all the things you want to do. And then the second you max as the mech player, you become control and bio player shifts towards power. And why is that? It's because the second you max is the second bio player should rotate tech now into battlecruiser. When you max is when he rotates. So now it's like your job shift where like bio player is the one who allows mech player to max by controlling the map. And then now mech player maxes, and now mech player is going to control the map with a push. Bio player can assist with that by either dropping continuously still and being annoying, or going with the mech army. Either way works. But the second the mech player maxes, you stop. Like now the goal now is no longer, well, I'm just going to keep killing expansions and like losing my drops or whatever if that happens, or just killing expansions and retaining my drops. But now bio player is like, well, okay, now I'm going to throw down my armories. I'm going to throw down my extra starports. I'm going to swap into tech lab starports here and start going into BCs as I lose bio. But if let's just say you lose a lot of bio and you don't have enough to replace fully to max out with the BC production, you can remax again with bio and slowly trickle it down again as your BC count grows, basically. But and then ultimately, once you guys have an army of BC and mech, that's when it becomes both of you have control and power. You know what I mean? Because and the reason why that is because you both are now fully active. You both have these big dick armies that can go around the map and just kill shit, and you both have extreme mobility. And the reason why that is because, well, you both don't have extreme mobility, but you both have the ability to like push on the map wherever the hell you want. And if they surprise you, you can be anywhere on the map at any time you want because of battlecruisers with the ability to teleport. So if you both push like all the way into their base and just wipe out one of the players, like 2v1, and then the other player is like, I'm going to doom drop you, or I'm going to go into the other guy's base, suddenly like 10 battlecruisers can teleport on top of them in your base all the way across the map. So that's like the supreme army you obviously want to go for, and I like the fact that you guys try to do it, but I don't like the fact that you guys have no control at all in the mid game, which again, both of you will do it at different stages. Bio player does it while the mech player maxes. Mech player does it when maxed, when the bio player then transitions to battlecruisers. This is why I was saying your battlecruiser transition right now is way too fast, because you have no control now on the map, and you're transitioning into BCs before the mech player even has control. So you guys, neither of you had control, and now you're getting attacked as a result of this, which is why this attack is going to feel so intimidating and so much pressure.
That was a pretty big one, though. Yes.
Yo, Larissa, thank you for the bits. Yo, thank you. So now, I'm just going to throw it out there and say your guys' army is not well suited to deal with it, what they're dealing with, what they have either. And the reason why is because you have Thors, which I think are great. Thors are fucking great. But they have tanks, which are better than Thors in a straight up Thor versus tank situation. The only way this is going to go well for you is if you could somehow get on those tanks really fast, but it's going to be physically impossible because there's so many Vikings as well that can zone out your air unit, which is, and you don't have a lot of air units either because you just started transitioning to BCs recently. So you have 6 BCs. So those Vikings are going to crush if you try to just fly in there or teleport in there. But even furthermore, he has a shitload of charge lots for a teammate. So these charge lots are just going to, like, it's all front load units, like charge lot Archon. Like, these things are going to be in your face, which is going to allow the tanks to just siege all day. So your composition is, I would say, weaker than theirs as a result of this. However, their composition would not be attacking you at this time right now if you guys had controlled over the mid game earlier. Because here's the thing. They went, like, the Protoss is less power than the Terran is, but the Terran is full power. This Terran is full, like, risky form of power because it's the fact that it has only Vikings. I would say your army is overall stronger as the red player in terms of versatility, but the teal player here, the tank Viking army, it's just better suited to deal with what you guys have right now, and it would not get here if the bio player dropped. Marines would fuck this army over really hard if they were attacking when the army was not set up on you. So if Tank Viking was having to defend, it would be way harder to defend with it than it would be for them to attack you with it, is what I'm trying to say. And the reason why I think you guys are kind of fixated on the fact that Vikings could kill medevacs, but if Vikings are not supported by Tankellion, Marines can kill Vikings, and that's amazing for you. Like, I would love fucking Vikings to die at the cost of some Marines, and if that was happening repeatedly, suddenly there would be no Vikings right now. And then if there were no Vikings, and even if you just started transitioning into BCs, now BCs would become way scarier in the late game. But again, I don't even think you would have 6 right now. If you were transitioning to BCs, you'd have maybe like 2. But again, that would be fine. It would put an annoying situation for the Terran, the teal Terran. But anyways, yeah, I honestly, all I see happening is he's going to siege on you, and you guys are going to get fucked here. And it's
But is there a possibility to so let me rephrase it. What's the better composition against mass tanks? Because actually we feel that usually the Thor Hellbat army is what is the backbone of our army in late game.
Yeah.
But it just gets wrecked by a mass tank.
The point I'm trying to make here is it wouldn't exist
unless we have a lot of BCs.
Yeah, this army for teal wouldn't exist if the bio player was controlling the mid game. And instead of you guys getting attacked like this, your opponents would be the ones asking, what do we do against the fact that we're like kind of, don't have that as much money as we would like, and now suddenly a big fucking Thor army comes over and kills more of our bases. What do we do when we're getting starved out? That's how you guys should be playing this out, is you should be starving them. The fact that your opponents have had all the time in the world to have all the bases they want and make this army, it means that you guys have missed the beat on something, and the only thing that would be acceptable if you're fighting this defensively now is if you both were going mech. So I would say, what's an acceptable army to defend this? If one of you had like mass tanks as well, and also your own mass Vikings or like Liberators or some shit. Because it would be the only thing that would make sense, because it makes no sense to go defensive bio. That's the point I'm trying to make here. Like, it really doesn't. But defensive bio is so weak. It's literally wet noodle status. It's so fucking bad.
Okay, so it's just be more decisive and be active on the map, right?
Yes. If you guys want to be defensive, if you guys both want to be defensive, you have to both go mech. And if you both go mech, you both would open up with a cyclone, and then go like tanks or whatever you want to do. But you have to be aggressive if you go bio. You cannot be defensive and go bio. It does not go together.
Funny thing is that we won this fight, I think, actually. Probably they messed up. And yeah, but interesting to know that we probably should have lost here already.
It's the thing that's hard. This is all they would have to do, okay? This is all they would have to do to fuck you guys over. If they don't push into you and they just kill your bases, like set up on an expansion and just sit there. If you have to engage into tanks and Vikings with, your guys, what you have, it's going to be really hard. And now you can see, like, this guy's exposing his tanks and shit, not really covering them. Like, where is his Vikings going? He's landing them elsewhere.
Yeah, you did actually try to get the base there.
Like if he's gonna go attack your bases, these tanks should not be sitting there anymore.
Yeah.
And now
the fight goes pretty lucky for us, actually.
Somehow went really lucky here.
Yeah. The reason why I would say this went lucky for you, this is 100% on Teal. His name is Decision, but he made a fucking terrible one right now. Like, that dude, he fucking sieges his tanks way out of the fight on the left, and he allows like 3 or 4 of them to die because he rotates the Vikings all the way to the right. And now he has a situation where his tanks cannot cover his Vikings against Marines. And this is exactly what I was talking about when I was saying that Marines can just shred Vikings, which is what would happen if you were dropping him. He has no tanks to cover this, and now all of his Vikings, I guarantee, like every one of these Vikings are going to die within the next, like look at the clock right now, 12:43. Every one of these Vikings is going to be dead by like 12:51. Like watch how fast these Vikings die to these Marines, and that's why you win this fight. Because now all the BCs get to stay alive, and then all the tanks are doing nothing, which allows the Marines to do their job. And then now you have actually Thor BC versus just Protoss. Watch how fast the Vikings die. They are just getting fucking destroyed by Marines. And that's what Bio should be doing in drops. Like if you're like, oh god, Vikings are scary. Well, fucking so are Marines against the Vikings. So like if you were to be like, well, he's got 8 Vikings, but I lost 2 medevacs, and then all my Marines are now they're stuck across the map, but they killed all the Vikings though. Like that would be amazing.
At this point, actually, when we watched the replay, we figured that we were pretty far ahead here. At least army-wise.
Yeah.
But we didn't manage to capitalize on it. Because in-game, we didn't see it somehow.
So, you guys are definitely ahead right now, because that was a massive... I would say this. What you said is so true, and I can't even... The way to describe how true what you said is the fact that you guys are ahead in terms of power right now. You guys have control right now. You do have control of the game. But the way to capitalize on that is to go kill expansions. And if you don't go kill expansions right now, you will lose. So what needs to be happening right now, again, your army is... Like, if I were to ask you guys, what is your army? It is still... Your army is like split 3 ways now. You have a hybrid of one of the players is fully committed to Thor Hellbat, which is great. That's a fucking massive like power backbone to your army. But now you have another player who is split 50-50 BC and Bio. This Bio needs to be dropping again. Like Bio should be all about that one moment. If you have to have it, if you just don't have enough time to make enough BCs to max on BCs, you should have the Bio in that one fight that is like assisting in the fight, like it just did just now. The second that fight ends, this Bio needs to be literally running across the map killing expansions. If the Bio sits here defensively, it's once again missing the beat on what Bio should be. So Bio needs to be like honestly, what you could do as well is you could do this. To make it like if you're like I don't want to multitask, you can make your life really easy by going like this. Select all army, control group 1, whatever, or like just not even just select all army. A move, shift A move, shift A move, shift A move, base, 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 base. Just literally shift A move it. And then now, while you're still selecting the whole army, control click your BCs or like alt click your BCs or some shit. Just select only the BCs and then rebind that to something else. And now that's all you control. Fuck it. Like let the Bio go die, but let it kill bases in the process. Now, obviously, if you can stim pack it when it gets there, that'd be awesome. But you need to be doing something with the Bio rather than sitting here. Because if you sit here, this is how you're going to lose the game now. And the reason why this is Mech can't do it because Mech is like a fucking turtle. Mech is like, all right, let's go kill those bases. And it's like walking like in fucking sand over there. Like, hold on, we're going to be there eventually.
Yeah, it's very true.
Yeah, actually, I was too afraid to move out now. I don't know why, but I somehow didn't. But they were still pressing somehow.
Yeah, well, they
and somehow I got indecisive. And
sure.
I knew that I hadn't lost a lot of my army, but
and it's just because it's just because they lost their Vikings and they lost a good chunk of the army in general, but they're parade pushing you, which means they're just literally rallying everything they have across the map to your base over and over. And Protoss has a prism here, so he's warping and everything across the map to your base. Now I would say that this fight definitely it obviously didn't go that well for you, and I think the fact that you were Yamato cannoning the tanks is correct because it allows you to get the Thors in there. But I think the fact that you sat there without the Thors assisting you was incorrect. So what you guys should have done, what your plan should have been right here, the perfect way to micro this fight right now right here would have been, again, the bio shouldn't even be here. The bio should just be attacking expansions. But what should have happened is you should go, whoever the mech player is, it goes, okay, I'm going, right? I'm attacking right now. And then the bio player with the BCs goes, okay, you're going? All right, I'm going to Yamato now. And you guys literally go together. And then as you go in together, and you could scan to set this up. So you know, like you should scan as you both make the decision, let's do this. You scan, and what you do is you cast Yamato cannons before you're even seeing them because you see them with a scan. And then you, as the Thors start walking into tank range, you hear like 7 or 6 BCs line up Yamato cannons, and like half the tanks die immediately. From that point on, if the rest of the tanks, you have to make a choice now. Thor player can't do shit. Like the Thor player literally A moves here. That's what that is. If you're following the Thor Hellback guide of BGM, that's literally all you really can do. That's why that army is so fucking self-sufficient. Is you A move. That's fucking it. But now BC player has to make a choice, and that choice is: are there still a lot of tanks that are in position to kill my Thor teammate? If the answer is yes, and there's like all these tanks that are bunched up really close still, you focus fire tanks. But if the answer is no, there are not, like let's just say the tanks are out of position. Like you killed the front tanks, and now the other tanks that are still there are too far away to siege the tanks, and the stalkers now engage you before the tanks can shoot you. Like he's fighting, for instance, if the Protoss player is fighting out of siege tank range, do not just fly over the stalkers and dive the tanks. Just have a concave of BC Thor kill the stalkers. You have to make the choice though, as the Terran player with BCs, to know what to do, because you actually can make a choice, but Thor can't. Thor is like, I'm just gonna sit here and auto attack what's in my face. So that's how you would micro this. So the fact that you Yamato cannon the tanks is great. That's intelligent. That's super good. But hold on. When did you actually Yamato? Like what actually got Yamato'd? Was it stuff in the previous fight? Okay, there we go. I'm gonna speed it up to when Yamato. Right here.
It actually might be very well that I just messed up the micro there.
Yeah.
But I guess I tried to go for the tanks.
And this is that moment too, where I would say, look at the stalkers. They're out of position, right? So if the stalkers are out of position, there's no reason to Yamato right now just yet, because you could just kill these tanks for free. Like these tanks could die for free. BCs can kill tanks ridiculously fucking fast, especially if you have 8 of them like you do. So if he's not going to help his teammate, you could just be like, all right, cool. I'm killing the tanks, because again, you're scanning a weakness in their army. They're out of position. But the second you see those stalkers run towards you with like, the intention to fight you off of the tanks, then you go, okay, well, I'm not going to sit here just tanking the stalkers all day and fighting both armies by myself. Now you Yamato. Like if the stalkers were already in the front, you open with the Yamato, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure.
Okay. So like again, the BC player has to make the choice, and the goal should be getting rid of the tanks so that the Thors can assist. And right now, as the tanks are dying, Thor player, you should be going, okay, yeah, no, it's time to go now. Like I need to go because the stalkers, you know that the stalkers are also going to go. So you need to get in there with him if you guys have an intention to break this. But if you guys have the intention to harass this, then obviously Thor player can sit back and BC player can back up the second the stalkers move. You guys have to just make choices together. So if your choice, and I would say it would make the most sense to attack it. And if you want to think about it logically, why does that make sense? It's because you just broke a previous army from them and they're still attacking you. So if you look at supply, mech player for you guys, 166. Bio player with BCs, 198. Mech player for them, 131. And Protoss player, 136. So you guys combined have like a bonus 90 supply over them. Or like 100 supply over them. So this would be a great time to just fucking own them. It'd be awesome. Like, it was super good. So it would make sense to just go with the mech player. So the fact that you're attacking is good with your army. But right there, the fact that the BCs got timid, right there, you fucked up, I would say. That was the combination of fuck up right there. Because now all that does is the BCs should not give a shit about the Thors. Or sorry, the BCs should not give a shit about these tanks. Okay, I'm saying this. Let me say it like this. The BCs should not care about the stalkers, and they should kill these tanks, because the stalkers, if they engage the BCs while the BCs are killing the tanks, the Thors are going to be like, bye stalkers, bye. Like the Thors are just going to die so fucking fast to the Thor. So, but the thing that's really scary for you now is that the more shots you allow that these tanks to shoot the Thors with, it's just gonna kill your Thors like really fucking fast.
Are the BCs actually gonna prioritize the tanks, or are they gonna shoot the stalkers first?
They're gonna prioritize the stalkers unless you tell them otherwise, and they should be prioritizing the tanks.
Yeah.
And
So, but you say at this level, you need a certain degree of micro in the fights, right? It's not
a tiny bit, yeah.
like what you say in the B2GM, just go A move. It doesn't really work out at this level anymore,
Yeah.
right?
Honestly, the only time it would make sense to A move is if again you guys are both going Thor Hellbat. And then again, that's not even like the best army either. That's not like, oh, that's gonna just beat everything. But it like if you want to just A move, you both should be going Thor Hellbat.
Yeah, we did try it a little while, but it was just too slow and clunky.
Yeah. I agree with you. It is because there's not enough. If the map, I would say this: if the map was like you see how there's a cliff and a big like terrain blocker, and the right side there's another big terrain blocker. It almost looks like two massive bunkers or some shit, or like outposts. There's a choke point you're going through. If none of this existed and the map was like is a sandbox, like wide open map, and you could walk everywhere, and you could have as much surface area as possible, then Thor Hellbat and plus Thor Hellbat could work because you have unlimited surface area to work with. So you could have this like concave of 54 Thors or something like that. And you're like, wow, that's a big concave. But that doesn't exist. And what really happens is you have a concave of like 6 or 7. And then it would be like 40 Thors behind it being like, excuse me, we're trying to get to the front. And the front one dies. I'm in it now. Oh, I'm dead too. And it just keeps happening over and over. So again, you can't really do that because the maps aren't designed that way. But yeah, you both made a mistake where you both got timid. Where again, the BC player, as I said, backed off as the stalkers engaged, but then you went right back in, and what happened with the Thor player? The Thor player turned all the way back around, and now look where the Thors are. Now it is a 2v1 with the bio player. So you guys both need to commit at the same time. And the way you should decide that is based off of a scan, and you go, okay, well, Thors are going to be what really does the damage here. How can I assist that? That's what your goal should be. So Thor player, you just fucking A move. Like you were the one who just goes, I make a choice and I'm going. I'm going right now. Like that's it. That's just as simple as that. I'm going. And the bio player needs to go like this. How can I assist you the best? What is going to fuck up the Thors the best? And you assist whatever that answer is, and it's definitely siege tanks here. You need to kill the siege tanks. That's like a surgical attack of killing tanks. And then once the tanks are dead, you could A move as well. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, it looks pretty sad, but I think interestingly we were still kind of ahead afterwards, although this went so badly, and then we didn't really finish the game.
Honestly, I would disagree with you there.
Okay.
And the reason why I would say that, because this fight, you win this fight. You do win this fight, but you know what just happened to the bio player is that bio player just lost everything. If we look at units tab, you have 12 Marines, 3 BCs, and 4 Medevacs and 2 Marauder. So you do have some stuff still. But I think you just lost the brunt of your army that could actually be killing bases, and right now you guys are actually down in bases, in terms of like total control of the map. Like they already control their entire half of the map, and you guys only control like half of your half. Mm-hmm. So the bio again, that's the whole point of you guys really have to really focus in on that goal of one of you controls, one of you is power, the other one is control, the other one is power. And then as soon as you guys both have max species and max Thor with like maybe some Hellbats or whatever, now you both are power, but BCs are such a overpowered unit in total that you now, I would say, the BC player is also control and power. And the reason why is because you could be anywhere on the map at any point in time you want to be there. BCs are the ultimate, that's the ultimate big dick of your army once you get there. And if you guys want to take it one step further, if you want me to tell you a way to make your build even better, like beyond that, mech player, once the bio player actually has mass BCs, mech player, if you're rich, you can start going mass BCs as well. And if you guys have like fucking 45 BCs together at some point, that's God mode army. There's no way that ever loses.
So you'd say the goal for me as the bio player is in the end to just have only BCs, just max out on BCs.
Yes. And the second you max out on BCs, increase your starport count. So if you're sitting there with like, okay, well I have like 18 BCs and a bunch of SCVs as well, and I'm only on 4 starports, let's make like an extra 4 starports. Now I'm going to go up to 8 starports. That way if they start dying in a big fight, I can replace way more way faster. That should be what you do.
So in this situation, actually, we didn't manage to get our bases established because they were constantly pressuring. So you'd say the only choice to do here is to be aggressive ourselves, right?
Again, that you got to realize that they won't be aggressive if the bio player is keeping them busy. So that will change
Yeah,
everything.
exactly.
But yeah, like the second you guys have control of the game for a moment, if you have mobility in your army, which is exactly what bio is, you need to go do that. You need to use that. Because like, let's just say even worse. Let's say you do have a bunch of bio, which I mean you kind of do a little bit. I'm glad you're not really making more bio. I mean you are to a degree. They're making like a couple Marines at a time. But again, the fact that the Marines are just kind of sitting here with your armies in the middle of the map, again, it's at this point I would say the perfect way to describe it is it's unacceptable. Like it can't be defensive. Like it needs to either not be made at all at this point if you're just going to sit defensively with it, or it needs to be attacking.
Yeah.
Because I cannot even begin to describe how wet noodle that army is if you just let them both max out.
Yeah. Now it starts to become, like you said.
Yeah,
Unfortunately.
that's far apart.
Yeah.
Because I had somehow taken this gold base, although we knew from earlier games that that's not a good choice most of the time, but in the heat of the battle I somehow didn't manage to expand elsewhere, so I threw my base over there and then somehow lost our armies.
It would have been okay if you would have actually controlled their side of the map a bit more. It would have been okay. Yeah. It's just based off the fact that you expanded, like it'd be like, you know, there's like 6 enemy bases and you just planted down right next to it, like, hey guys, I hope you don't mind, I'm making an establishment here. I'm gonna set up camp.
Scout those. We just didn't scout those.
Exactly. And again, that comes down to the bio player. Like that's the bio player's goal. It ultimately is your job for the bio player. In the bio phase is you initially get through the early game to not die with any harassment, any all-in pressure, but then you become the guy who goes drop, drop, and it does again. I will say this: way scarier to drop the main of either of these players. Way scarier because that's where the majority of their production is. That's where the heart of the base is. That's where the main army of them is probably going to be located as well. If you drop the outer expansions though, it's always like 1 cannon or like 2 cannons or a turret, and then it's just shit you could just run over with bio all day repeatedly. And if you starve them out, if you just successfully do this, I'm talking like for like 2 minutes, like you kill like 3 bases. I can't even begin to describe how impactful that is. And the reason why it's so impactful is because if you killed a couple of expansions around like the, like the 10-minute mark or whatever that you could have been doing it at, look at your main, look at both your main bases, look at both your natural bases. Like money mines out in Legacy of the Void super fast. And if you can just throttle like the opponent's 3rd or 4th bases for just a little bit, and then suddenly the mech player now can shove over there as well and really just seal the deal, you will starve them out so fucking hard that they will not have enough money to do things like have scary armies being rebuilt repeatedly. And if you're keeping them busy defensively, and you guys are the ones who expand like this instead with PFs and stuff like that, suddenly now you guys have all the money in the world to do things like make 8-star ports and BCs after your bio harassment phase. And now the mech player can do something like literally also make 8-star ports for BCs after you max out on mech repeatedly when you feel like you have control. And now the BC teammate of yours has mass BCs to allow you to do this. And the way mech player, the way you would do this is as soon as your bio teammate that has now gone mass BCs, as soon as he is maxed on BCs, like has a very strong army of BCs, you would just lift every factory you have that is a tech lab and you would build starports on them. And then you would start a fusion core after as well. So that you could go from how many factories do you have with tech labs? You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That'd be perfect. You could literally go 6 starport BC, and then you could keep making hellbats if you wanted to, or you could even go into like widow mines or some shit if you needed to. But
and then just transition into BC as the mech dies, basically.
Exactly. Like you don't like want to just stop making mech and then make BCs like when you've just lost a mech army, but when you have the power of what you have right now. Now you can as the army is alive and you're still maxed, you're then building your starports, and then as you take a fight and your starports should be then done, then you start replacing supply with BCs. That's exactly how it goes. So that's why I was saying that the bio player went BCs too early this game, because you were starting to make BCs before you even had a strong bio presence in the game. So it puts you in a position where you're still going bio, but now it has to be defensive because you don't have really a lot of it, and also you're having to be defensive because you're doing this massive tech swap of BCs, and BCs don't do shit when you only have 1 or 2 at this point in the game.
Actually, we started to incorporate the very early BC switch because we lost a lot to Skytoss, and they arrived with carrier really early, and the bio didn't have too much there.
Sure, and that's one
But
thing.
you say it's still preferable to remain or to stick with the bio for longer, right?
Yeah, you need. That's because you guys like right now. The big thing about your guys' build that it's missing is it's missing control. You have no control.
Yeah.
And the only way it would make sense to have no control is if you both go for power. Then control doesn't matter. So if you both just went, I'm going Thors. Yeah, me too. High five. Just fucking have 35 Thors in this fight. Let's go. Like, that'd be fine. Because you'd have both power. But again, that's not the most effective army because that army can be fucked over by a surface area. Like, you don't have enough room on the map to make that work. So if you, again, the fact that you're synergizing the way you are is perfect. You have to have some type of synergy. But you have to actually establish control, and you both establish control at different points in the game. And yeah, the bio needs to be controlling expansions, and if you are, you can't because you guys are letting your opponents have just like a gold mine of money, where it's just like I can make what we can make Sky Toss, we can make whatever we want. But if you have the bio player throttling expansions, they won't be able to do that. And if the bio player loses the bio, who gives a shit? Minerals are easily replaceable because Marines are super cheap. And the thing is too is when you do bio drops, I'm not telling you to do like, you don't have to be doing like 70 supply of a bio drop all at once. You don't have to do that, but you should be doing like 20 or 30 supply, like 2 or 3 medevacs at a time, because 2 or 3 medevacs will wipe a base out ridiculously fast. And if it dies, it's not like, oh, I just lost everything. Like everything's dead. We're fucked. Like you're still making bio in the process and behind the scenes at your base, and you could just do another drop. And then do another drop. And you're always looking for expansions. That's all you do. Expansions, 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 expansions. And if you successfully kill some, you guys are both going to be like, wow, these guys don't really have an army. Like, why is that? It's because you're controlling them.
Yeah, makes sense. It's just hard to do it. Then, I guess.
Yeah, here again we felt that the fight was pretty good. But then we just stumbled further and got everything killed.
Yeah.
Like our army just died afterwards.
The reason why, honestly, just to talk about it, is I feel like you guys have put yourself in a position where it was a 2v2 now, but now I would say it's like a 1.5 versus 1. And the reason why I say that is the bio player just pretty much got fully eliminated there. And it's because the bio player is still like, the bio player got fucked pretty hard in the top middle when the gold base died and lost all the BCs really. And now there's only one BC in this fight. And then the bio player had a bunch of medevacs and bio. And all those bio units just died to what I would say would be half of the tanks of Teal. He still has tanks elsewhere. But now the Protoss hasn't even been touched yet. So now you're fighting against a full Protoss army and a half army from Terran. But again, like I guess if the people play crazy, I'm not going to lie. And like, why the fuck is the Protoss player attacking by himself? I don't understand. He shouldn't be, but but the point I'm trying to make here is it's all the blue player is eliminated right now. There's really nothing supporting. It's like it's just a bunch of medevacs that don't do shit because it's paired with a bunch of mech. So okay, I'm glad the purple player is backing up because it made no sense to fight there. All right, well now there's also more BCs, so you guys, your army just became more formidable again. Because they teleported in. But I mean, we'll see. But
so would you say now would it be wiser to retreat?
No, I would say
the point where we lose everything.
The fact that you have this is what should happen. The fact that you actually have just rejoined a decent amount of BCs. Now you instead of only having 1, you've gone up to 4. That's like it's not gonna like wow 4 BCs is amazing, but it's better than what you had before. What you should be doing now is you guys should actually go try to kill expansions. At the very least, here's the thing too. If you're going to attack, you guys should both go together and kill expansions. If you guys were going to retreat, you should not have used teleport. You should have retreated with the Thors, and the BCs should have killed expansions and teleported if you compromised them. That's what should have happened here. Because again, BCs have the ability, just like Bio does, to fuck over expansions. Like they're control. They are control. So then that is the biggest aspect of your guys' gameplay that is missing is you guys have no control. So if you guys go south right now and attack towards the main, this is a mistake. If you go north and attack towards the expansions on top, that is correct.
Look what we do.
Yeah. Because all that's going to happen now is you're about to run into tanks. You're about to go kill bases that have already mined out, essentially. So, because think about it like this, too. It doesn't matter if they have a bunch of production. If you guys are like, let's kill production. It doesn't matter if you kill that production because, I mean, if you kill the production, that's awesome, but it's harder to do that. But if you go north and kill economy, they can't sustain production anymore because they have no money to do it with. So you get the job done of killing quote-unquote production either way if you starve them out of it or if you kill it entirely by itself. It deactivates it if they can't afford to spend anything out of it. And you can see, look at the Terran's money right now. He has 500 minerals. And look at the Protoss's money. He has 600 minerals. If you guys killed their expansions, they could not afford to produce shit out of what they have. But running into the tanks now. And this is that moment too where I gotta pause again one more time and just say this. If you guys scanned ahead, look at what they have here right now. They have 2 Vikings and 1 Void Ray. And these BCs haven't even used the autocannon yet. If you think about logically what would make sense, the Protoss player, you just watched the Protoss player run north, right? He ran north. And then now you're looking at the Terran player, who the teal one, who is still here sieged. And if you guys were to make the best out of this fight, I would say you could have the battlecruiser player, Yamato out, the Void Ray and the Viking, and then have the BCs just sit on the tanks. Thors do not walk into this because there's no reason. Like the BCs are getting free damage. Nothing is killing the BCs, and you are getting free damage on the tanks because nothing can defend them now. And then now suddenly, all the tanks die, and it clears out this area, and Thors don't get fucked up. And now Protoss player comes by himself and fights you with Charge Lot, Archon, Void Ray. And the BCs can come assist the Thor, and now you can fight that with Thor Hellbat BC. Like, that would be the best way to fight this, but what's actually happening is you guys are walking into the tanks, which is a lot of tanks, too. It's like, this was like 6 tanks, whatever. And these Thors are getting fucking destroyed. These Thors are getting... watch the Thors. Watch how fast Thors die to tanks. There's like 3 more Thors that just died. And you're walking away from the tanks, but you're still in range of a couple of them. And they're killing more of your tanks. The tanks are killing more of your Thor. So that was rough. That was brutal because your Thors just got wiped out fucking hard by these tanks. And the BCs haven't Yamato'd anything. And in the time your Thors they just ate like 15 siege tank shots. The BCs were like, hold on, we'll help you in a second. We're just killing the air units really quick with our auto attacks. So it's like, it's kind of, you guys, for synergy, I would say you both kind of fucked that up in a way where you just ate a bunch of free damage is all it was. So every time before you engage, you both need to get in the habit of one of you, or both of you, doesn't matter, but it'd be ideal if one of you did it. You need to scan where you're going to attack. When you know, okay, they're going to be here, let's scan there. As you set up the fight, you just always have to have the idea of, okay, when you're both mass species, if you ever get to that point, who gives a fuck? That is literally 2v2A move. You can both be like, let's spam Yamatos and just watch the fucking fireworks and then watch everything die. Like, that's great. That's God mode army. You'll probably never lose when you get there. But when you have a synergy like this, where it's Thor army, you have to do, like, this is something you need to listen to right now because this is very, very important. This is going to make or break a lot of your games. You need to look at what they have and go, what is going to fuck my Thors? And then you need to try to avoid that from happening. And right now, what is the way to avoid your Thors getting fucked here? It is not walking into the tanks and letting the BCs get rid of them and then going into it. Because, again, the reason why that made sense is there's nothing guarding the tanks that the BCs can't handle by themselves easily. So it made sense for the BCs to handle it first and then Thors go later. Now, in the fight over here, if you guys remember this one, when there was a bunch of, on the bottom right, when there was a bunch of stalkers and stuff like that, that was one where it was the same answer, which is what's going to fuck my Thors? The tanks. But the BCs can't kill the tanks unless the Thors help as well. So that was the one where I would say that you need to go together. You need to go together, and when you go together, the BCs get rid of the tanks because the Thors can't do it themselves because they're out of range, but the BCs can fly in and surgically kill them. So if the BCs kill the tanks, suddenly the Thors last a lot longer, and then you win the fight. You guys have to just, when you're in the stage of having Thors as your backbone, you have to cover them and go, what fucks tanks, or what fucks over the Thors, get rid of it, and then move on. And tanks is always tanks is the thing in this game, in StarCraft 2, that fucks Thors over the most out of everything. It really does. Because they hit for 80 fucking damage, and it splashes. It's insane how fast tanks can kill Thors.
But nevertheless, it would have been better to go north in the first place, right?
Sorry, say that again. The sound was really loud.
It would have been better to go north in the first place.
Yes.
Instead of pushing
100%.
towards the main.
And the reason why is because you guys should be your whole overall your underlying game theory should be kill expansions, kill expansions, kill expansions, kill expansions. That's all it should be. It should not be kill production. Because 2v2 games are not going to... The only time you should ever go for kill production is if... This is the key word here. If you're all in. That's the only time it would make sense. And you guys are definitely not all in. Because you guys are playing a macro game. Like, if you're going to do an attack before, like, 6 minutes, going for production makes sense. Because economy is not a factor there. Because you easily have enough money to keep going for a while. But once you get to the stages where it's, like, 12 minutes, 15 minutes, 19 minutes... Kill expansions. You like it should be your goal all game, especially the bio player. But you guys should both be trying to kill expansions. Like once the mech player moves out too, that is also your job. It is where can I fuck them over the most? Where would hurt the most? Expansions. And that's what you should go for too, is expansions.
Vibe didn't know you did 2v2 coaching. Might have to take you up on this.
Yeah, here we get a bit lucky again.
Well, it's just tank versus tank. It's really hard to engage tank. Honestly. Tanks just fucking own everything. And that was another thing right there where if you looked at that, you just watched the Protoss walk into your army without the support of Teal and then just lost everything. And then what happened then afterwards? Like, this is usually how people play in 2v2. And this happens repeatedly. Teal sieged. Purple walked out of siege range of Teal. And Purple got fucking destroyed by you guys with your tanks. And then what happened to Teal? Or, sorry, what happened to Purple? Purple got owned. And then what did he do? He ran away. And as he ran away, what did Teal do? He aggressively sieged. And now, so now he's fighting by himself as well. This happens all the time in 2v2. So if you both get synergized, and you go, okay, every time we go together, we go together. And every time it's looking like we scan first and we go, okay, that's a bad fight. Let's just, I'll have the idea where you don't go and I harass. That's it. Oh, yeah. So again, you guys, because if you guys both go and one of you just goes, you know what, I'm getting cold feet, dude, I'm going to back up. Good luck. You're going to fucking die. Like it's not going to be a good fight. So you guys both need to go when you go. Or... Yeah. If you look at it and go, let's not go, you need to harass. One of you harasses, and whoever that's going to be is, unfortunately, I know it sounds like a lot of pressure. It's almost always going to be the bio guy. Because if you have BCs now as well, it's your job again. So whoever, like the bio player is going to have a lot more stress on their shoulders in these kinds of situations.
So just looking at the time, so I don't know, there's 10 more minutes, but I think that kind of I don't know, I think now they started harassing us and in the end we didn't try it and all in and it was closer than we had expected, but we just lost. So do you think we can learn a lot more from this game, or I mean, is the time anyways over? Or we had one more thing more about scouting related.
Sure, yeah, go feel free to ask it. But I would honestly, this is how StarCraft 2 works, and this is something you really have to understand. Is if you have like I said earlier, if your early game is weak, you're gonna get fucked in the late game. And right now, the fact that you guys, like, look at Blue for instance. Blue has like no money, literally no income. Blue's income is like complete garbage because the only place it exists is in top right, which is mining out in 10 minerals. And that's it. That's all, like all you have. And now look at Red's income. Red is mining a little bit on the right side with 2 bases, which is nice and healthy. But you guys aren't mining really. Also, Blue is also mining the top middle, which is the gold base, where you're going fucking ham on it with 29 SCVs on a gas. I know you're splitting your workers around and you're gonna rotate it. I know it's not gonna be left there because I can see them all moving to it. But like your guys' economy looks pretty fucking thin right now. And like overall total minerals, like you guys are missing a lot. And if you look at your opponents, they just have been allowed to have way more bases for way longer. So in terms of money, you guys are fighting like millionaires and you guys are kind of like middle class in terms of like how much you have. You just don't have nearly as much money as they do because they've had uptime of bases way longer. So yeah, like you guys need to just really set up games better with the ways we've already talked about with the control aspects. That is fucking huge. And if you guys do that, I promise you, as soon as you get comfortable doing that, you're going to be like, wow, okay, the games that used to feel like where we're like, okay, well, we just die here. Sometimes we die there. You're going to be like, wow, every time we do mech pushes now, it's not like, holy fuck, what are we going to do here? This is very complicated. You're going to be like, wow, I'm just rolling them over with my pushes. This is easy as shit. And it's because you're starving them out. That's the whole concept. So always kill expansions, both of you, when you have control. And again, control is for bio all game when you have, because your mobility is the power there for bio. And then once you have BCs, again, you have tons of mobility. You can teleport wherever the hell you want. So I would not say, do not teleport into a fucking expansion and be like, kill it. Yeah. But you just fly at the expansion. And you could do it in a way where you go, okay, if they attack when I'm out of position, I can teleport right back to my teammate and help him. But if they don't do that, I can literally kill expansion after expansion after expansion. And if they teleport onto me as I kill expansion, I can teleport out. So I don't fight a 2v1. But I still fucked up like 3 bases before that happened, or 2 bases before that happened. Like, that's what you should be doing. There's no rush to like always be like, okay, well, let's sit here. Okay, now there's a fight. Let's look for the fight. Just look for the economy to fuck over, and then fights are going to be like, well, where are they? Because they don't have anything. I guess we just kill their bases. Like, that's what it's going to feel like.
Yeah, it's really a very important point, I guess.
But yeah, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to ask. But yeah, this game is kind of, you guys have set it up in a...
my point was just whether, I don't know if we have time left, but...
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know, Max, what would you say? But I think we could maybe skip the last 10 minutes of this game, and maybe if we have time, have a quick look at the other one, because it's about early game scouting, and we didn't see a rush coming more.
Okay, sure.
Add something else, and
let's
we
do
have
it.
5 more minutes or so.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'll make you guys leave
awesome.
again.
Okay, so you just quit the replay?
Yeah, leave the replay, and then we can talk about scouting, and we'll kind of bypass all the concepts. But those concepts are huge, and I would say the fact that you missed those in that game is why that game felt like you guys kind of lost control repeatedly. It's because you just didn't have any control.
Yeah.
Paul, you're party leader. I think you need to...
I made Paul party leader.
Yeah. Yeah, so either you start a replay or you promote me to party leader.
So which one
Just
was
really-
it? Or maybe I just...
It was on... Yeah, just promote me to party leader.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So this one is completely different. We just lost against the Link Flood, let's say, and we somehow didn't really see it coming, I'd say.
Sure.
So we
Yeah.
tried to scout. We saw the Protoss was 1 base.
And
Thank you guys for the subs, by the
expanded,
way.
like
Thank you.
3 base really early, and then just a bajillion links came in.
Okay.
So maybe you can just talk us through what we should have seen, or maybe what we actually saw but didn't understand.
Sure.
So,
All right.
Start is the same, basically scout after barracks.
So yeah, and on this map too, this is a map as well. You should be kind of expecting aggression more, because isolated maps favors aggression builds always. Like isolated bases are scary as fuck. So you guys should both be going for a build that is self-sufficient now. Like I would say, this is a map if you wanted to, you both could go mech on. You both could go like battle mech or some shit like Hellion Cyclone or opening that way, or you both could go bio. And if you guys want to synergize as well, like you were before, where you go, one of you goes bio, one of you goes mech. Be very careful about when you leave your bases. So you guys both need to do something. We'll get to a point. We'll scout, and I'll tell you exactly what I think should happen. You both need to like do both of what you were doing before, though. I'll explain what I mean by that. So you
Scouted the Zerg base, and then we thought it's not going to be an all-in.
Yeah.
Because pool was half done, I think.
Yeah, no, this is a hatch gas pool. This is a pretty standard build. And for for Protoss, you scout him. You saw he didn't have a quick ass natural, which is pretty normal. But the fact that you see 2 gateways, this already, and the fact that here's a big one too. Look at his chrono boost. It's on the gateway, and he has 2 gates. This insinuates more aggression. So even though the Zerg looks standard, the Protoss already looks more aggressive than normal. So there's 2 signs here that point to, okay, we need to be a bit more safe than we were before. Number 1, it's an aggressive map. You guys aren't together. You already have, and you're both Terran, which is, I'm not gonna lie, that is the worst race to be on maps like this. And you know why? It's because imagine this. I'm gonna paint you a picture here, okay? One of you gets attacked, and the other player is like, "Hold on, I'm coming," and then you have like 5 Marines walking out with no medevac, no stim pack. They're just like, it's like little baby ducks crossing a pond, and then a fucking a shark comes out of nowhere, which is a bunch of lings, and just eats them alive. Like, oh well, I'm not coming anymore. I'm dead.
Yeah,
So
that has happened so often.
yeah,
I mean, I think we noticed the 2 gates, but I didn't notice the chronobus, to be honest.
so what you should do, this is what you should do. To be safe, you honestly should both build a bunker, in my opinion. And you both should not expand. Like, you guys could both still expand, but don't fucking build that command center on the low ground. Build it on the, like, every time you get an isolated base like this, every single time, build your command center on the high ground. This will make your life way easier based off of what you scout or not. Because if you get attacked, you won't just get fucked. Because if you build the CC on the high ground, you still have the aspect of macro to lift it later and land it. But if you both build a bunker, and mech player, you could just build like 1 or 2 marines with it, and that'd be fine. And then bio player, you could fill it up with your full 2-1-1 bio. But you both have a bunker. So you both have the power to like hold a lot of all-ins, because if they show up with stalkers, which is what they're probably going to do, you don't get fucked over by having stalkers poke your marines constantly behind the wall and poke your SCVs that are repairing the depots, and then lings flood in. So if you both have a bunker, that goes away. Because stalkers go up the ramp and die. Or what are you going to say?
But it's just meant as a general safeguard, not based on the scouting information that we see there.
Yeah, exactly. You guys could literally do it every game. And it's because of the map you're playing on. You're isolated. And you don't want to be in the position where you're trying to be like, I'm coming to help you. I need help. I'm coming to help you. The real thing you should be doing is you both go, okay, they're on me. Okay, now they're on me. Okay, now they're on me. And you do not run out to help your teammate. Unfortunately, it's just kind of how it has to be. You do not run out to help your teammate until they break the wall, if that happens. And the thing that makes this important is the longer it takes to break the wall, the more tech you have to actually have power. So you're not trying to run across the map with 2 marines or 4 marines that are just fucking baby ducks. You actually might have delayed long enough to have a medevac or something like that. And a great way to progress this further is if your opponents are really fucking all in, like they're just like constantly trying to break you, both of you make a bunker, both of you make a siege tank. And you just have tank bunker on the ramp, because it is so hard to break a repaired wall with SCVs and a bunker and a tank if you're just trying to break it with like Zergling Stalker. Like, it's ridiculously hard to break that. So like if you actually can sustain longer and longer and longer, and they're both like basically one basing you, and now suddenly you guys both have expansions and you both have tanks, just pounding the units, but you both have the developing follow-up. Once the player who has like, let's just say, I'm gonna give you a hypothetical. One of you gets attacked. And then the player who's not getting attacked, let's say you put your tank, instead of in a safe spot like behind the barracks, you put it aggressively on the front of your cliff that is overlooking like the majority of the middle of the area. And let's say you get to a point where you have like 3 fucking tanks. Like the mech player he's like, I got 3 tanks and I got 8 Hellions. And you're like, cool, that's a lot of stuff to have. You could actually rotate, like you could take your Hellions out and poke the back of the line of the pressure. And then you could have like 3 tanks now on like the cliff or something. And every time you poke him, you're just roasting the back of his line. And then every time they go, oh, fuck, let's go kill those Hellions out here, or something like that, you back up and you run to your tank line. And you're like, oh, okay, well, he's running into my tanks now. We're just pounding him over here too. As vice versa, if the bio player is the one who's getting attacked, or having to help rather, and the mech player is the one getting attacked, same fucking thing. You put your tanks on the cliff if you're not the one being pressured, so you have the maximum distance to shoot forward, and you bait your opponents into your tanks. You're like, hey, bio, run over there, poke him, like shoot him once or twice with a gun, run back to my tank line, and suddenly your tanks start pounding the back line, and it alleviates pressure off of the wall this way. And you both have tanks on the cliff shooting down on the enemy. You both need to make tanks though on maps like this, for real. Just to open. You don't have to go tanks all game. Just open with tanks, like up to 3 tanks. And then you're done, and you're good. But so keep in mind too, if you are going to be the player that's like, raise your hand if you're the mech player that only makes tanks. This is even more important when you still have to make a cyclone. Make a cyclone first. If you're gonna skip marines, make a cyclone and then make tanks. Because there's no fucking way your bio teammate's gonna help you at all now, like at all. You're on your own. You guys have to just be self-sufficient, which is why again that bunker is huge, and that tank is huge because that gives you something to repair. And mech player, if you wanna just still go mech, you don't have to fill the bunker up with 4 marines. Just put at least 1 in there. And the reason why that's important is because of a concept called aggro. It's the aggression of units that are attacking you. If there's no marines in a bunker, it acts like a supply depot, and stalkers will just ignore it, and they might shoot your SCVs and shit like that. that are repairing the wall. But if there is a marine, or if there's just one marine inside of it, now it's an aggressive structure, and every auto attack, if it's A moved, will always attack the bunker. So it's important to do that.
Well, that's interesting to know.
But so you
Can I
say
get
just
back?
be more defensive and get a bunker up, regardless of the scout, basically.
Yes, and the
'Cause
reason
we even scouted the third base of the
Yeah,
Zerg here.
that was exactly what I wanted to say.
It
We
doesn't-
saw the third base. Sorry.
you go ahead. Just tell me what you're gonna say.
Yeah, so that's why we thought we were kind of safe.
Sure.
But you would say on this kind of map, just always take the expansion on the high ground.
Yeah, the reason why you guys should be safe is because you guys are both expanding. Like, you wouldn't have to be as safe if you're both going to all in, because you're both going to have power then and control. But, again, you guys are both sacrificing control right now because you're both expanding, which is a massive investment. And you have to realize, Zerg, just because they go for a hatchery, does not mean, oh, it's a command center. This is literally a barracks as well for Zerg. This is the equivalent of seeing a Zerg go 3 base, is the equivalent of seeing a Protoss either go for, like, 3 Nexus or, like, 5 gateways. Like, it doesn't have to be drones. That's the thing about Zerg is you don't know. I would say this. If you scouted the Zerg's base and you saw 0 gas, if you're like, oh, what? He went 3 hatcheries and no gas. Then I'd be like, okay, yeah, it's not going to be that intimidating probably because he's not going to have speedlings. But all this Zerg has to do is just mine enough gas for speed and then stop mining gas. And then he goes fucking ling, just mass lings. He could totally do that if he wants to. And that's the equivalent of the Protoss having like 1 base, 5 gateway.
Also, there was no tech building, right, for the Zerg.
That wouldn't matter because that's also the tech buildings could be like he could make a roach warren or a bane nest, and that could further increase the power of his all in. But all I'm saying is that these hatcheries can be counted as a barracks or a command center. It doesn't have to be the equivalent of like, oh, it's a command center, because it's actually production.
You don't know, right? You only can read it in conjunction with the gas.
Exactly. You can read the fact that you know he has ability to go speedlings, but the fact that he goes 3 hatcheries this fast, you have no idea until he's already made it if it's going to be lings or drones. So
unless you can rule out the possibility of an all-in from him, rather be more defensive.
I would say the chances of him being all in, again, if we're talking about the concept of synergy and what makes sense, it makes sense that the Zerg player is going to go for speedlings if his teammate is going to go for double gateway. And also, again, the map. This map fucks you over if you get attacked like that. So like it plays to the power of the map too. Like you guys need to maps like this, I guarantee you're both like, God damn, I'm dead. Well, okay, well now 2v1. Now I'm dead. Okay, 2v1 again. Like it probably happens a lot. And the reason is because you do not want to go down your ramp ever until you have power. And you do not have power until like 5 minutes. And if you have to go down the ramp, what makes you go down the ramp right now? Defending your expansion. So if either one of you goes down that ramp to be like, hold on, they're attacking my natural, get over here. Oh, fuck, baby ducks in the water. We're fucking dead. Like, that's going to happen over and over.
Yeah, actually, we tried to veto out most of maps where we spawned separately.
Yeah.
But this one is the last one that we needed to keep in.
Yeah, and the wall you have here going on right now is ambitious. It's never going to happen. And here's the thing, too. Even if you did get the wall up, and let's say you built like your first 2 depots in factory, and then the other guy built the first depots in racks down there, you would never want to build here anyways, because if the Zerg player, for instance, went Ravagers and busted down your wall with Corrosive Bile, or went Baneling Zergling, or the Stalkers somehow outranged the tanks in a certain spot and busted a depot open, you would probably still die, because your production is so isolated, or it's so exposed right now, and the wall is just too fucking big. The only way I could see you guys ever defending this is if you somehow like got this walled off and you both had a tank on the edge of the cliff there and there, overlooking the center of the area. And you were like, every time they came in the center of this, you just pounded them. But then if you overcommitted to the ground defense like this, there's still a hole in your build, which is if either one of you got hit by an Oracle. Because the only way you could actually get this off is if you both went tank first. And then suddenly one of you is like, oh, fuck, all my SCVs are dying to an Oracle. It's just risky is all it is. It seems safer because you're like, you join together and join forces, but it actually has a lot of risk involved at dealing with all-ins, when the way you can get rid of all risk is if you both are self-sufficient with a bunker on your ramp and you both make a tank. eventually. So like again, make a Marine to open with a bunker, or make a lot of Marines if you're bio, but you both make a tank, at least one tank to start. So if you're mech, it would be Cyclone then tank. If you're bio, it would be a lot of Marines and a tank because you have the bio to supplement for the lack of anti-air. And do not put a natural at the natural until you both can actually go like this. Until you both have the ability to do this, okay? This is when you actually lift off your command centers and land at the naturals. Can you move down your ramp? Do you have do you have units to move down your ramp with and actually like fuck them over if they're here still? Yes. Okay, yeah, me too. All right, let's do it. And you can do that in a way...
Like 3 tanks and 4 Hellions.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Perfect. And that would be in a way that would make a lot of sense where you could actually... you could cover your army by having tanks leapfrog. One tank could be on the cliff, or maybe 2 tanks could be on the cliff at the very edge. And now suddenly you join forces where now, like, look at where the engineering bay is for both of you. That's where, like, your next tank is for both of you. Like, each color. And then now your tanks on both cliffs can cover the tank on the low ground. So if they attack you on either side, tank, shooting constantly. And although the tank where the engineering bays are located, that tank on the low ground might die. But in the process of that one tank dying, your tanks on the high ground are just fucking pounding them over and over. And you lose like 1/5 of what they lose in terms of resources.
And in the meantime, just build SCVs from 2 CCs.
Yeah, exactly. And then you might have like a 28 out of 16 SCV count on your main. But then you just fully saturate like your natural almost as you lift it off and go down there. But if you try to guard it now... Go ahead.
Sorry, in this case we need to build turrets, I guess, right? Because, or maybe cyclones, but if we go tank first in this case, if the Oracle comes...
Well, for the bio player, you have Marines as well. You gotta keep that in mind. Just load up your bunker with 4, and then have the rest of your Marines kind of sitting in the mineral line. But yeah, you can... I would say the time to make turrets would be when you get ready to push down your ramp. That would be a good time to make turrets.
Okay.
You don't need to make it like right away though, because a Cyclone is actually ridiculously strong early game, and up until 5 minutes, that thing would probably be able to hold you off, keep you alive. And then same with the bio. But yeah, and then yeah, I just see you guys breaking here if the Zerg player just goes mass Zerglings, which it looks like he is because I just see Zerglings in production.
But we didn't see it coming at all, like the Zerglings.
Yeah,
we managed to somehow get out the tanks.
Yeah.
But then the Zerglings came in.
Fight the Stalkers, and then, yeah, I also messed up repairing my depot. The links got in, but still, I think even if I had done this better, it was probably already too late.
Yeah, well, it's just because, like, look how... I'm just going to throw this out there. And this many Lings and this many Stalkers, Lings can't do shit about the fact that you'd have a bunker because they would have to attack the depots and the reactor. And you could just pull SCVs and repair. You could pull, like, 12 SCVs and repair. And this is also... Think about this, too. If you both make command centers in your main and you both oversaturate your mineral line, it's going to be easy to pull SCVs to repair and still mine healthily because you're both producing SCVs like crazy. So you can both be like, I have 8 SCVs pulled off the mineral line, but yet I still have double mules and SCVs mining like crazy, so I can still afford this. Now, all these Lings would just ball up on the ramp, and your tank would be killing like 8 Lings. 8 Lings. 8 Lings. Like if they're super clumped on the ramp like that. So if the Zerg doesn't ever micro that, your tank is going to beat the shit out of those Lings. And then this is not enough Stalkers as well to break a bunker if it gets repaired. Like, you could easily repair through 5 Stalkers. Like, 5 SCVs could repair through 5 Stalkers. Pretty much, for a long time. And, like, the Stalkers would die faster than they would break that. Easily. Like, I think, like, probably 7 SCVs would out-repair the damage of Stalkers, of 5. But if you're down on the ground like this, all these Marines, all these Hellions... Like, the Hellions are somewhat okay because they can kite a little bit. They're a little bit faster. But all these Marines and these SCVs for blue, dead. Fucking dead. Like, these are not going to live for very long.
Yeah, it's just that we didn't see it coming at all. We were totally surprised by the Lings, and then we dance around it a little bit, but I guess it's...
Yeah. It's just... Play
done deal already, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, playing with the... Because you don't have a bunker. And now, if you don't have a bunker, now you can't repair forever because Stalkers can kill the SCVs off the wall. And if your Marines are even standing there, you can't fight there forever either because 5 Stalkers can kill like 8 Marines easy. Fucking easy. Stalkers are actually ridiculously strong against Marines early game when you don't have Stimpack and you also don't have Marauders and Medevacs. Like, it's fucking crazy how good Stalkers are. So, but if you have a bunker, suddenly Marines never take damage at all, and Stalkers just deplete in health as you repair the bunker. And then also, it puts a lot of pressure on the Protoss player to micro because he has to focus fire every time he shoots you. And so it puts a lot of pressure on him to be able to effectively do that. So just every time you play a map like this, just to have the concept of don't push down our ramp until like the 5 to 6 minute mark when we can actually join forces together and have a formidable army, and we have tank coverage on both of our cliffs. So either way they go, they get shot by tanks that are like, on a cliff, and then you both have the bunker that initially takes you to that point, and you do not leave your base, because if you leave your base, if one player is like, they're at my base, yep, I'm repairing my wall, if the other player goes, I'm coming to help at 3 minutes with my little baby duck army, and then the Zerg player turns around and goes, oh look, the other Terran's out of his base, surround, fucking kill, and then he goes to that ramp. Now they switch ramps that they go to, and now suddenly they're like, well, this ramp has no defense because he just walked out of his base and lost everything. So now we can just sit here smacking his wall that's no longer having any type of defense at it, which it will guaranteed break then.
Yeah, it happens quite regularly, actually.
Yeah, so you both have to be confident that you can defend yourself. As Double Terran.
The whole time, and then as soon as you go down,
Yep.
saturate to natural, and then take a third CC.
Yep, because you'll be taking your natural by like now, in a real game, like 5 or 6 minutes is when you'll have the power to do it, because that's when you both will have. Again, this is the key. You can feel confident to push once you still have a tank sieged on the high ground, on the very edge of the cliff, that can overlook the low ground, and then you can also siege a tank on the low ground, within range of the tank on the high ground. So that you can now, if they attack you, the fact is you'll have so many tank shots going into their army that is going, even if they kill what's on the low ground, they're going to lose so much of what's there. You'll always take an efficient trade, which will then allow you to overproduce them and outproduce them, and then take your natural. Like, you're going to just maximize tank shots with this concept.
Cool. Amazing.
Yeah.
But
I think I was still trying to go for my drop and so on.
Yeah, this is rough.
Yeah, I think there's
I
nothing
have to
much
switch
more
my
going
build
on,
order.
actually.
But yeah.
Damn,
the rest
not a
is-
little bit.
And then if the thing is too is with maps like that, once you get to like the 6 minute mark where you both, once you like both go, okay, yep, we can take the low ground now, then it would go right back into the concept of what I told you about in the previous game of control, stuff like that. And that's it, boys. That's it.
Amazing. Thanks a million. I guess
Yeah,
it was way
thanks a
more
lot.
than 1 hour. Thanks a lot
That's
for
all
your
good, guys.
time.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Take it
Is
easy.
the recording going to be available somewhere?
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, so if you guys are subscribed to my YouTube, it'll be the next video I post as of tomorrow. I'll probably be posting like 2 or 3 because I might have like a replay analysis set to post as well. But it'll be easy to find. It'll be at the top of my coaching videos. So
Okay.
hell yeah,
Perfect.
boys! Thank you guys, and good luck.
Thanks a lot. Have a great week.
You
Yeah,
too.
thanks very much again.
And
Bye.
later, guys. Have a good one.
Bye.
All right, guys. That was a 2v2 coaching lesson. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Much love. Thank you for watching. If you guys found that informative, I have a lot more coaching with my YouTube. I say this all the time. There's lots of other coaching content on my YouTube. Lots of replay analysis, which is similar to coaching, and Bronze to GM series, which is like a guide about how to play StarCraft. If you're interested, by all means, it's all free. Check it out if you want to. But thank you for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Till then, peace, guys.